सर्वेषां नमस्कारः। इदानीं पठत संस्कृतं पठत संस्कृतगीतात् प्रारम्भं कुर्मः। अहं गायामि, एकः अनुगायन्तु। I will sing, one of you can recite after me. पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
ज्ञानवैभवम्
ज्ञानवैभवम्
वेदवाङ्मयम्
वेदवाङ्मयम्
लसति यत्र भवभय
लसति यत्र भवभय
अपहारि मुनिभिरार्जितम्
अपहारि मुनिभिरार्जितम्
कीर्तिरार्जिता
कीर्तिरार्जिता
यस्य प्रणयनात्
यस्य प्रणयनात्
व्यासभास कालिदास
व्यासभास कालिदास
बाणमुख्य कविभिः
भाणमुख्य कविभिः
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
अन्य कोऽपि अनुवदन्तु। स्थानमूर्जितम्
स्थानमूर्जितं
यस्य मन्वते
यस्य मन्यते
वाग्विचिन्तका विवाक्षु
वाग्विचिन्तिका हि वाक्षु
यस्य वीक्ष मधुरताम्
यस्य वीक्ष्य मधुरताम्
यद्विना जना
यद्विना जना
नैव जानते
नैव जानते
भारतीय संस्कृतिम्
भारतीय संस्कृतिं
सनातनाभिधाम्बराम्
सनातनाभिधाम्बराम्
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
पठत संस्कृतं वदत संस्कृतं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
लसतु संस्कृतं चिरं
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
गृहे गृहे च पुनरपि
सम्यक्। अन्य जयतु संस्कृतं
जयतु संस्कृतं
संस्कृतिस्तथा
संस्कृतिस्तथा
संस्कृतस्य संस्कृतेश्च
संस्कृतस्य संस्कृतेश्च
प्रणयनाच्च मनुकुलम्
प्रणयनाच्च मनुकुलम्
जयतु संस्कृतं
जयतु संस्कृतं
जयतु मनुकुलम्
जयतु मनुकुलम्
जयतु जयतु संस्कृतं
जयतु जयतु संस्कृतं
Jayatu Jayatu Manukulam.
Jayatu Jayatu Manukulam.
Jayatu Jayatu Samskrutam.
Jayatu Jayatu Samskrutam.
Jayatu Jayatu Manukulam.
Jayatu Jayatu Manukulam.
Patata Samskrutam.
Patata
Vadata
Samskrutam.
Samskrutam.
Patata Samskrutam. Vadata Samskrutam.
Lasatu Samskrutam Chiram.
Lasatu Samskrutam Chiram.
Grihe Grihe Cha Punarapi.
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 Grihe Grihe Cha Punarapi. Thank you, Bhagini.
Sarvesham Namaskaraha Swagatam Uttamam. Etavat Paryantam Vayam Dasavataara Stotrasya Vishe Kinchit Drishtavantah. We've seen a little bit about the Dasavataara Stotra. We have understood the overview behind when and where the Dasavataara Stotra was authored by Swami Deshikan, Swami Vedanta Deshika. It is in Srirangam. The Dasavataara Sannidhi is there, where he sees all the 10 avatars of Bhagavan and composes this beautiful poetry. We've understood the overall meaning of the first and the second sloka. The first one was about the greatness of the location. We will see that a little more in detail today. The second one was on the Matsya Avatara of Bhagavan. So there are Namaste Bhagini. So there are innumerable avatars of Bhagavan, and we learned that there are 5 different states in which we can understand this. There is Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Antaryami, and Archa. Can one of you recollect these different 5 states of the avatars that we discussed earlier? Okay.
Paravyuha,
Yeah.
Vibhava, Archa, Antaryami are the 5.
Antaryami. So we learned that the avatars are not just the 10 avatars that we see here, but Bhagavan is in different forms. The ultimate Lord, who is beyond all what we can understand as the concept of time and space, is called the Parabrahma, Paravasudeva. So it is the Para form of Bhagavan. After that comes the stage of Vyuha. Vyuha is when we understand Bhagavan as the Ksheerabdinata, the Bhagavan in the Milky Ocean. Vibhava is when Bhagavan comes in different avatars, in different forms. He walks on this planet. So the Rama, Krishna, Narsimha, all these avatars can be understood as the Vibhava avatars of Bhagavan. But then Vibhava Avatara can be experienced by us only if we are born at the same time when Bhagavan's Avatara happens. We have to be in the same place where Bhagavan is in order to enjoy Bhagavan in his Vibhava Rupa. So to bless all of us who were not born during that time, or we were not there in that location at that time, Bhagavan is in the form of the Archa Avatara. Bhagavan in the temple, the form that he takes is called as the Archa Rupa. So every temple, the deity is an avatara by himself. So Bhagavan in the different Divya Deshas, the 108 Divya Deshas we say, right? Each of that is a Archa Murti, is an Archa Avatara of Bhagavan. So that is yet another form of Bhagavan where irrespective of the time constraint, we were not born in the Treta Yuga to enjoy Bhagavan Sri Rama. But we can still go and have a darshan of Bhagavan Sri Rama in many, many different temples. We were not born at the time of Dwapara, where we can enjoy Bhagavan Krishna. But even today, we can go and have darshan of Bhagavan Krishna, right? So that is the Archa Avatara of Bhagavan. And many of them say, why go outside? God is in us. So is he there inside us? Yes, Antaryami Rupa. Bhagavan is very much there inside each one of us as the Sakshi Bhuta. Dva Suparna, there is a Upanishad mantra which says that there are two birds in a branch. One bird eats the fruit. It is tasting a fruit. This fruit is bitter. It splits it off. It tastes another fruit. This is sweet. It eats it. So on and so forth. There is another bird which is watching this bird eating the fruit. So the Upanishad says that the bird which is eating the fruit is the Jivatma, which is doing its karma. It is taking the fruits of the karma. The sweet things, the good karmas are there, the bad karmas are there. It is enjoying the merits or the negatives of the karmas, the karma palas done by the Jivatma. The Paramatma is not tasting the fruit. He is not born by this karma. He is just a Shakshi Bhuta who is looking at this. So both these birds are in the branch, right? The branches are Sarira. So inside our Sarira, the Jivatma and the Paramatma are there. The Jivatma is getting the benefits or the negatives of the karma, while the Paramatma is just the observer. After that, the Upanishad will go ahead saying that, but the Jivatma is showing, the bird is showing the back to the Paramatma. All it has to do is, turn and surrender so that Bhagavan will take care. The Upanishad continues in that way. But what's important to us is the Antaryami Rupa. Bhagavan is sitting inside each one of us. That is one of the 5 states in which Bhagavan is there. He's the Antaryami. Is it easy for us to realize it? Most of the time, as humans, our eyes can see everything external to us. We know what is happening outside of us. We exactly know what is the capacity of the telephone. We know what is the capacity of the laptop. We know what is the speed of the vehicle which runs outside. So many things we can calculate. Whatever is outside us, we kind of know about it. Do we know our capacity? Do we know at what speed our mind runs? Do we know the capacity of any human potential? Can we see things inside? Do we even know at this point of time what is our own, pulse rate, or what is our own BP, or what is happening inside our body every minute? We have no idea. We do not know what's happening inside, leave alone understanding about the Atma or the Paramatma. So our eyes are seeing outside, not inside. So our acharyas help us to go to the Dasavataara Murti and then worship the deity there, so that we can identify with the deity. When he's outside of us, our eyes can see him. We can feel him. Our indriyas can focus on him. So it is easier to develop the devotion rather than focusing inside, which is very complicated for us. So we can reach there. People who've done Bhakti Yogas do that. But is it easy? It is the tougher option of the available options. Archamurti is easy. Therefore, they advise us to worship the Archamurti. Understanding his qualities, reading the scriptures, getting devoted to Bhagavan with the help of his leelas, associating with him, is an easier way out compared to contemplating on the invisible Paramatma. So with this overview,
Sorry.
we will go on to the...
Sorry, Pravinaji. Can you give examples for Para and Vyuha? What is... I could understand the other 3.
Para is the Para Vasudeva Rupa. Even before all these creations are brought out, right? The first form of Bhagavan, where everything is there in the subtle form. Nothing else exists. The Parabrahma, the ultimate Bhagavan exists, right? That is the Pararupa.
Oh.
And that Pararupa divides itself into 4 different forms, which is called as the Vyuha Vasudeva. So in that itself, we have 4 different forms. I did not go into the details of those forms, but that is called as a Vyuha state. So Vyuha state is where he's accessible to everybody else, like the Kshiravdinatha we say. He's the Lord of the Milky Ocean, where people go, the Devas go and ask him for so many things. Para is not even accessible to anybody. So it is only the permanent world. So that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Everything else is bound by time and space.
Okay. Dhanyavad.
So yeah. Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, all these, there are different forms inside the para, inside the Vyuha Vasudeva. Yeah. Okay. So we will go on to understanding the first sloka. Because Sudhirji wanted the word-to-word meaning, we will get into the Pratipadartha of the first sloka today. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha, Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Shriman Venkatanathadya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidattam Sadahridi. The first sloka, one of you can recite after me. Devo na shubhama.
Devo na shubhama.
Tanotu dashadha.
Tanotu dashadha.
Nirvartayan bhumikam.
Nirvartayan bhumikam.
Range dhamani.
Range dhamani.
Labdha nirbhara rasai.
Labdha nirbhara rasai.
Adhyakshito bhavukaihi.
Adhyakshito bhavukaihi.
Yadbhaveshu.
Yadbhaveshu.
Pritag videshvanu gunan.
Prutag videshvanugunan.
Bhavan swayam bibhrati.
Bhavan swayam bibhrati.
Yadharmairiha dharmini.
Yadharmairiha dharmini.
Viharate.
Viharate.
Nana kritirnaika.
Nana krutirnaika.
Okay. Here it is Devo. Devaha. So Devo, when you read it continuously. Naha. Shubhama. Shubham, auspiciousness. Atanotu dashada nirvartayan bhumikam. So Deva, here is like the Devaha is the kings. Naha means all of us. Asmakam Naha, we say, right? Naha means all of us. Shubham. Shubham is auspiciousness, all the mangalas. Shubham dadatu. Atanotu. We request him to grant us all the Shubhams. Dashada. Dasha means 10. Dashada, the 10 different forms. Nirvartayan. Nirvartayan. So he acquires or takes these 10 different forms, right? Incarnates using these 10 different forms. Bhumikam. So Bhumika is like all the costumes and other accessories. He gets himself into the different forms, doing all the makeup and getting into the actual forms of these Bhumikam, getting into the roles of these things. So Devaha, Naha, Shubham, Atanotu, Dashada, Nirvartayan, Bhumikam. Right? That's the first line. Range Dhamani. Range is the Sri Ranga. So because this is about the Dasavataara Bhagavan in the Sri Ranga temple, Range. It can also be a stage. Range, Dhamani. So Dhama, this is the place called Ranga, the Aranga. Labdha Nirbhara Rasaihi. This is a very interesting phrase. Labdha, immersed, Nirbhara Rasaihi. Rasai is in that rasa, in that rasanubhava, the happiness, right? Those who are immersed in that rasanubhuti. It speaks about the greatness of the devotees who are admiring Bhagavan in this kind of role. Labdha Nirbhara Rasahi, completely immersed in the rasa of this. Adhyakshitaha. Adhyakshitaha is visible, seeing this, right? Akshi is eyes, so seeing. Bhavukaihi. Bhava is like people who enjoy this scene, the rasikas. People who are admiring this, the bhavukas. The bhava who are understanding these bhava are the bhavukas, the rasikas. So range dhamani labdha nirbhara rasaihi adhyakshito bhavukaihi. Third line. Yad bhaveshu. Yad bhava. Bhava here refers to the act, which means the avatara. Yad bhava, in whichever avatara. Yad bhaveshu pritagvideshvanugunan. Pritagvideshvanugunan. So depending on the character, pritag, different characters, different roles are taken, right? Anugunan, abiding by those. Bhavan, all these avataras. Swayam bibrati. He himself takes these avataras, depending on the role and the form that is required. He takes these roles. Along with that, who takes these roles? Yad dharmairiha dharmini. Yad dharmai. Now, Bhagavan takes one role. So, depending on the role taken by Bhagavan, dharmini, Bhagavan's patni, Mata Mahalakshmi is there, right? She adapts herself to the role that is there. Iha dharmini, whatever is required in this world. Iha refers to this world. Iha dharmini, she will adapt herself to these roles. Now, what we have to understand here is a very interesting concept, because think about Bhagavan Sri Rama. Now, he was a Kshatriya. Mata Sita took the role which, had to live by a lot of standards, because Bhagavan Rama, accepted a lot of rules. He went to the forest, she went to the forest. He wore the, attire, which was like a ascetic in the forest. She also adapted to the same thing. 14 years, instead of being a princess, she was, living a hard time in the forest, physically hard time. So a lot of this, whatever he did in order to adapt himself for that role, Mata Sita accommodated. But think of Rukmini. When Bhagavan became Krishna, Rukmini wrote a love letter. Can we imagine Sita Mata writing it? Rukmini wrote a love letter and sent it through a person to Krishna, asking him to come and kidnap her instantly. So depending on the role which Bhagavan takes, Mata Mahalakshmi adapts herself happily. When Bhagavan took the Vamana Avatara, he was a bachelor boy. Does it mean Mata Mahalakshmi did not have a role in that Avatara? The Acharyas say that she had a role in that Avatara, where she was still in the heart of Bhagavan, though he was a bachelor in costume. So he had to wear the deer skin on top and hide her inside, so that, because if she peeps out and she sees Bali Chakravarti, he is going to be blessed with prosperity. Then Bhagavan cannot ask for the kingdom from him, because the prosperity will belong to him, right? So Bhagavan had to hide her inside his heart and cover himself with the deer skin, because he was a bachelor boy, and then go for Bhiksha. In Ramavatara, Bhagavan Sri Rama, after accepting Guha as his brother, asks Sita Devi to look at Guha. The moment Mata looked at Guha, all the prosperity was blessed on Guha. Similarly, when Kuchela came with all devotion to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and Bhagavan accepts the poha from Kuchela, Bhagavan asks Rukmani Devi to see the direction in which Kuchela's house was there. When she saw that direction, her blessings was conferred on Kuchela, Sudama, and Kuchela became richer than Kubera. So that was the cost, kind of blessing that was conferred on Kuchela. So depending on whatever dharmic role that Bhagavan adorns, Mata Mahalakshmi adapts herself to that in all the Vibhava avataras. So Vibhava avatara is the avatara where Bhagavan walks in a form in this world, and Mata Mahalakshmi accommodates herself to help Bhagavan achieve whatever is the dharma samstapana that he has to do. So what is the purpose of Bhagavan coming here? Paritranaya sadhunam, to bless all the devoted people. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to end the negatives in this world. Dharma samstapanartaya, to re-establish dharma. So in order to achieve these objectives, Mata Mahalakshmi compliments Bhagavan, and they together bless all the devotees. So that is what is mentioned here. So here what the third line says is, Yad bhaveshu pritagvidesh vanugunan bhavan swayam vibrati. Yad dharmairiha dharmini. So yad dharmairiha, whose dharma, iha in this world, dharmini. So she compliments all the dharmas of Bhagavan. For that, what do they do? Nana akritihi. Akriti means form. Nana, different forms. For each avatara, they change the name, the form, everything, and they come together. Nana akritihi naika. So goddess of Sri Lanka, Mata Mahalakshmi, Ranganayaki, takes all those roles, and they both actually do the enactment for us. And these are enacted where? In Sri Ranga. The 10 different avatars, the 10 different forms are enacted by Bhagavan and Mata in Sri Rangam. And when this is enacted, the Rasikas are immersed in the devotion. So they are the Bhavukaihi, they are the Rasikas. So what do? Labdha Nirbara Rasaihi. They are immersed in this Rasanubhuti of Bhagavan's Leelas. So that is what is communicated here. So as the essence of this sloka, what all should we remember? In the normal world, when we go to watch a play or a movie, the actors takes different roles, and the actress also joins in. Depending on the actor, the actress will take a different role, and the audience are very happy watching this. Similarly, Bhagavan takes the Sri Rangam as a stage, or the entire world as a stage. He is the Nata, he is the actor who takes all these Vibhava avataras, the 10 different forms of Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrisimha, Vamana, Parshurama, Balarama, Srirama, Kashta, Kalki, everything he takes. And for each of the avatara, the Nati, the Naika is Mata Mahalakshmi. She takes the suitable roles, and they both do this enactment in the Sri Ranga or in the world dais for us. And all the bhaktas become the great rasikas who are immersed, seeing the roles that they do. They do this entire creation there. They do the entire maintenance there. It's all about the Prapancha Shrishti, the Prapancha Samrakshanam. It's not like a normal play that we see. So looking at this great enactment, the Rasikas are immersed, the Bhaktas are into it. And they both are inseparable, so they work on this together, complementing each other. So that is brought out in this sloka. So from the different words that we see in this sloka, the acharyas have picked out certain words, and they create an important phrase for every sloka. So for this sloka, the phrase is, there will be certain words they are assumed because of the Sanskrit grammar. So here, because you have devaha dashavidaha, you will assume yaha devaha, which deva. Okay. Yaha devaha dashavidaha bhumikam nirvartayan. So which deva dashavidaha, 10 different forms, bhumikam, on this earth, nirvartayan, who takes these different roles, range damani dharmini saha viharate. Ranga, in the aranga, it is the stage. Along with the dharmini, along with the dharma patni, saha, Bhagavan, viharate, saha devaha, that God, naha shubhamatanotu, let that Bhagavan bless us. So basically, the Bhagavan who takes the 10 different forms along with the suitable forms of, for the Patni and enacts this in the stage of Srirangam, let that Bhagavan along with the Dharma Patni bless us all. So that is the key essence of this sloka. Yaha devaha dashavidaha bhumikam nirvartayan range dhamani dharmini saha viharate saha devaha naha shubhamatanotu. So that is the essence of this sloka. Okay. So for those who are new to Sanskritam, it might take a little bit time, but as far as the essence is understood, it should be fine. But you will definitely get a better understanding than the overall meaning. Is that right? So any questions before I go on?
Na Bhagini.
Astu, Samir. So I will recite this once. So after understanding the meaning, let's try to recite it now, right? Devo na shubhama
Devo na shubhama
tanotu dashadha
tanotu dashadha
nirvartayan bhumikam
nirvartayan bhumikam
range dhamani
range dhamani
labda nirbhara rasaihi
labdha nirbhara rasaihi
adhyakshito bhavukaihi
adhyakshito bhavukaihi
yadbhaveshu
yadbhaveshu
पृथग्विदेष्वनुगुणान्
पृथग्विदेषु अनुगुणान्
भावान् स्वयं बिभ्रति
भावान् स्वयं बिभ्रति
यद्धर्मैरिह धर्मिणी
यद्धर्मैरिह धर्मिणी
विहरते
विहरते
नानाकृतिर्नायिका.
नानाकृतिनायिका.
Yeah, here it is Nana Akriti. So it is the form, right? Nana Kritirnaika. That's so beautiful.
नानाकृतिर्नायिका नानाकृतिर्नायिका अत्य अध्यक्षितो अध्यक्ष इत्युक्ते लीडर् इति अपि अर्थः अस्ति खलु भगिनि परन्तु अत्र
Visionary iti arthaha bhavati. Who is able to see? So here it is the vision. Adhyakshito bhavukaihi. So the bhavukai are, enjoying this kind of a thing, which is visible. Then the nataka is enjoyed by the bhavukaihi.
अस्तु धन्यवादः.
That is why the visionaries are called as the leaders in that context. Those who can see the future.
Oh, okay.
Possibly. That is why we call the Akshi, right? Here, Prasangat Vadami, contextually. Here, adhyakshita. Akshi means ice. In Sanskritam, akshi means ice.
Hmm.
Why is I called as akshi? Is because all of us today know that our body will perish. After that, also the eyes do not perish for a while, right? That's why the eyes can be donated even after a person is dead.
Right.
So, because the eye is not perishable, it is called as akshi. Akshi means the vision, it's not perishable.
Shayam na bhavati.
Kshaya means perish.
Hmm.
Aksha means the one which does not perish. Therefore, the eye is called as the akshi, the one which does not perish.
Hmm.
That is why our alphabets are called as akshara.
Akshar. Hmm.
Shaya nasti, ataha akshara.
Hmm.
In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan calls himself as akshara.
Hmm.
Akshara.
Akshara.
In fact, there is also
Akshara.
Akshara Brahma Yoga.
Akshara Brahma Yoga.
So that which does not perish, that is Akshara. And in this context, the Akshaya Patra of Draupadi, which was given by Surya Bhagavan, that which is never ending. Kshaya Nasti, that will not end. So look at the beauty where Kshaya becomes Akshaya, Akshi, Akshaya, Akshara. Everything is related to that which does not perish.
Atra Adhyakshaha.
Adhyaksha, Adhyaksha.
Yaksha.
Adhyaksha. And Bhagavan is also like different names of Bhagavan is used, right? In Bhagavad Gita, there also he is called as Akshara. In one of the context, Akshara is also used. So it's a very, very beautiful thing.
I just learned Ksha is a dhatu, so Bhagini.
Ksha.
Kshiram is they say Kshiram, right? That means which comes up, like when you boil, it will come up, right?
Come
Anything
up.
comes out is Ksha. So that's
Kshi.
Kshiram. And also this one, Ksha is any Indriyas are only eyes, Bhagini, because Sarvendriyanam Nayanam Pradhanam also, right? Is it because eyes represent all Indriyas, something like that? That's why it is called as eyes? Or
But some Indriyas will perish, no? So in that context, it might be eyes.
Okay.
Sarvendriyanam Netram Pradhanam, that is there. But in this context, especially when it comes to Akshi, it might possibly be the Aina. Because everything else does perish.
Okay.
In fact, that's why Meenakshi.
Meena Akshi.
Yasyaha Akshi, Meena Ivas.
Meena,
Na Meenakshi.
Beautiful.
Kamakshi also so.
Kamakshi. We have learned this sloka also. So let us recite this sloka. निर्मग्नश्रुतिजालमार्गणदशा दत्तक्षणैरीक्षणैः अन्तस्तन्व. Oh, you by-hearted. Wow, Sumitra Bhagini.
No, Bhagini, I didn't buy
Should
it.
I break it in the middle? Should I break it in the middle?
Yeah, yes, Bhagini.
Yeah. Nirmagnashrutijala
Nirmagnashrutijala
Marganadasha
Marganadasha
Dattakshanairekshanaihi
Dattakshanaiर्वीक्षणैः
Antastanva
Antastanva
Divaravindagahanan
Divaravindagahana
Yaudanvati namapam
Yaudanvati namapam
Nishpratyuha
Nitpratyuha
Nishpratyuha
Nishpratyuha
Tarangaringanamita
Tarangaringanamita
Pratyudapataschata.
प्रत्यूढपातश्चटा
Dolaroha.
डोलारोह
Sadohalam bhagavato.
सदोहलं भगवतो
Matsyam vapuh patunaha.
मात्स्यं वपुः पातु नः.
Samyak.
Thank you.
We also learned a Subhashita, if I remember right. Yeah, this is the Subhashitam. Acharyat padamadatte.
Acharya Padamadate
Padamadatte.
Padamadate
Padam shishya swamedhaya.
Padam Shishya Swamedaya
Padam sabrahmacharibhyaha.
Padam Sa Brahmacharibhyaha
Padam kalakramena cha.
Padam Kalakramena cha.
Anybody remembers the meaning of this Subhashitam? We discussed it in one of the earlier sessions.
Yeah, Bhagini. Acharya Padamadate is we learn from Acharya and the quarter from
25% is from Acharya, 25%
yeah,
we have to
second
reflect.
from other
Self.
students, is it?
No, self. Padam Shishya.
Okay.
Self. Padam Sabrahmacharya with classmates.
Classmates.
Padam Kala Kramena cha with Ravachnas and later on
Yeah.
we'll learn.
Yeah.
So basically, it's such a beautiful Subhashitam which says that if you take the whole, 100%, divide it into 4 parts. So 25% each. Pada means 25%. Pada, 1/4 means pada. So Acharyas, Padam Adatte. From the Acharya, Acharyat, right? So Acharyatah, Padam. So 25% you learn from the Acharya. The next 25%, Padam Shishya Swamedaya. With his own efforts, the Shishya can learn the next 25%. Padam Sabrahmacharibhyaha. Along with his co-learners, discussions, brainstorming, learning together, you can learn the third 25%. So now 75% is over. 75% of the learning. 25% is from the Acharya, 25% by own efforts. The next 25% is by learning with the peers. And the next 25%, the final 25% is experiential learning. Kalakramena cha. It will be learned over a period of time by our experience. So this gives a pie chart of, the learning process. Beautifully. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do one more Subhashita today. We've done it sometime in November, I think. I don't know if all of you were there at that time. We'll do it now. Udaye savita raktaha.
Udaye savita raktaha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Mahatameka rupata.
Mahatameka rupata.
Udaye savita raktaha.
Udaye savita raktaha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Mahatameka rupata.
Mahatameka rupatha.
So this is from Mahabharata, which speaks about how we should be irrespective of the situations. So the Subhashita speaks about sun. When the sun rises, you can see that it's red in color, right? And what happens when the sun sets? It's again red in color. So whether you see the rising sun or the setting sun, the sky is kind of red. So Udaye, at the time of dawn, Savita Raktaha. So the Rakta Varna, Rakta is red. Savita Raktaha. Savita is red color. Similarly, Astamane Tata Raktaha. So similarly, when it dawns, Astamana Samaye, Kimbavati Raktavarnaha eva, it is in red color only. Similarly, Sampattau cha Vipattau cha. Sampat means good times, prosperity, wealth. Sampat, even in many other languages, we use the word sampat, right? So when prosperity or good times happen, or vipat, or the viparita of that, the negatives, bad times, shortage of funds or testing times, anything, Mahatam Ekarupata. Mahatam, for great people, it appears to be the same thing. Whether it is great times or negative times, they look at it with equanimity. Just like how the sun during the rising or the setting, it's red in color. During good times or bad times, great people do not distinguish anything. They have equanimity of thought. They look at everything the same, right? So we'll repeat this once more. Udaye savita raktaha.
Udaye savita raktaha.
Raktaschastamane tamaye tatha.
Raktaschastamaye tata.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Mahatam ekarupatam.
Mahatam ekarupata.
I remember after teaching this, I thought one more Subhashitam at that point of time. I'll tell that also now. Vipado naiva vipadaha.
Vipado naiva vipadaha.
Sampado naiva sampadaha.
Sampado naiva sampadaha.
Vipad vismaranam vishnoho.
Vipat vishramanam vishnuhu.
Vipad vismaranam vishnoho.
Vipat vishramanam vishnuhu.
Sampad narayana smritihi.
Sampat narayana spritihi.
So this is a very beautiful Subhashitam again. This says, Vipad, we just now discussed about the word Sampad and Vipad, right? Sampad means all the wealth, prosperity, good times, everything is Sampad. Vipad is negatives, bad times, a lot of difficulty, everything. Vipado, naiva vipadaha. What we see as vipad, what we see as negatives, is not vipad at all. Sampado, naiva sampadaha. What we see as prosperity or monetary gain or, richness in many different ways is not actual sampad. Vipad is not vipad. Sampad is not sampad. What does the poet attempt to say here? Vipado naiva vipadaha, sampado naiva sampadaha. So what does this mean? The poet says, Vipad vismaranam vishnoho. Vismaranam. Smaranam means remembering. Vismaranam means forgetting. So Vipad, which is the greatest calamity? Vipad vismaranam vishnoho. If you forget Bhagavan Vishnu, that is the greatest calamity. Then what is the sampad? Sampad narayana smritihi. If you remember Bhagavan Narayana, that is the greatest wealth. Vipad vismaranam vishnoho. Sampadnarayana Smritihi. Think of the Nrsimha Avatara. Hiranyakashipu had all the wealth. Prahlada had just the remembrance of Bhagavan. Sampadnarayana Smritihi. He was the wealthier, right? So he had the greatest wealth of Bhagavan, Bhagavan's Nama. And what was the greatest calamity? Hiranyakashipu forgot Bhagavan. He used to be a Dwarapalaka of Bhagavan. He forgot that. So that is the greatest calamity. While remembering Bhagavan was the greatest sampat for Prahlada. So the Supashita is Vipado naiva vipadaha sampado naiva sampadaha vipad vismaranam vishnoho sampad narayana smritihi.
It's a beautiful one, Bhagini. We need the
No.
text also, like.
Yeah, you want to repeat it once, like after knowing this meaning, we'll do it once. Vipado naiva vipadaha
Vipado naiva vipadaha
sampado naiva sampadaha
sampado naiva sampadaha
vipad
vipat
vismaranam
vismaranam
vishnoho
vishnoho
vipad vismaranam vishnoho
vipat vishramanam vishnoho
vismaranam vishnoho
vishramanam
vismaranam
Vismaranam.
Mm.
vipat vishraman. I'm not getting.
Vismaranam
Vismaranam
Vishnoho
Vishnoho
Sampad Narayana Smritihi.
Sampat Narayana Smriti.
Uttamam. Uttamam. So we will do the Kayana Vacha and wrap it up for the day. We will meet next week. So in case anybody is not able to make it, just let us know so that we can plan something accordingly. Because we have very few participants now. Even if a few of you are not coming, just keep us posted so we can plan it accordingly, right? Hopefully the next class, let's see the word to word of the next sloka also. Yeah. Is the word to word meaning useful, or you want me to
For
Yes,
me,
yes,
I am
sir.
enjoying it.
It's very useful.
I
Yes,
am enjoying, Bhagini.
nice also.
Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va pragade svabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayati samarpayami. Achyutaya namaha anantaya namaha govindaya namaha achyutaya namaha anantaya namaha govindaya namaha achyutaya namaha anantaya namaha govindaya namaha. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Achyuta Priyata. Jai Shri Krishna.